What's up guys, I'm Jason from PNP and thanks for tuning in. In this video we're going to start something new in making a line of videos called the Conspiracy Series, which will be about how the powers that be manipulate your life without you even knowing it. So stay tuned as we dive into some conspiracies. Before we get started, let me preface this video by saying I don't hate anyone. You can be whoever the hell you want to be, but this first video we're going to talk about the gay agenda. So we're going to start off way back in the 90s with this book called After the Ball, How America Will Conquer Its Fear and Hatred of Gays in the 90s. So I'm going to show you this clip of this pastor reading a quote from this book.
Please don't confuse conversion with political subversion. By conversion, we actually mean something far more profoundly threatening to the American way of life, without which no truly sweeping social change can occur. We mean conversion of the average American's emotions, minds, and will through a planned psychological attack in the form of propaganda fed to the nation via the media and the schools.
So this plan was laid out in this book a long time ago, and you might think, well, that's just a big conspiracy theory. It's not true. Well, it is true. They lay their plans out right in front of you, and what it leads to is degeneracy like we see today with even drag queens reading books to kids. Why would they need to do that? There's no reason. And then we want to talk about all these actors that have, they call themselves trans, but they're really mentally ill. They think they can change their sex. That's what this movement has done to these people. It's changed their mentality. It's caused them to go crazy. And even if it didn't affect them in that way, it allowed other people to see this as normal, which it is not normal. If it was normal, they wouldn't have to be promoting this propaganda through media, through government, like it's stated in that previous clip of the pastor. Because normal doesn't need to be forced upon you. Normal is normal, and that's just the way life is. This stuff is not normal. Next, we're going to go take it way back to a TV show called I Love Lucy. I'm sure a lot of you are aware of it, but some of you might not be. But before TV slowly let little things slide over time, it used to be a very hard thing to get any, we'll say, adult content released to television. And even in this show, the couple, they slept in separate beds, which we'll take a look at in this clip right here.
Ricky?
Yeah?
Are you asleep?
No.
It sure is quiet out here.
Yeah. Nice and quiet.
I never heard so much quiet.
Well, you'll get used to it. Good night.
Night.
So you see how wholesome that clip was? You can call it boring, uneventful, or anything like that, because, we're not used to that sort of thing on television these days, but it was very wholesome back then. It was pure and simple. Next, we'll take a look at a clip from a movie based on The Doors, which was a band back in the 70s. And it was a big deal for them to say this one word, just higher. They didn't want them to say this word higher. So all I have is the clips from the movies, but this is a real story. It's a real event. So let's check it out and how they handled, just the network didn't want them to say this one word.
Well, I have one little thing to bring up. It's a small thing, but it's important. The guys at Network have told us that they have a little problem with one of your lyrics, the lyric, "Girl, we couldn't get much higher." See, because you can't say higher on Network, so they asked if you could say instead, "Girl, we can't get much better." Can you dig that?
So it might seem silly or goofy based on today's standards, but they were very strict about what they allowed on TV because they knew it would influence people. All right, so now we're going to look at the reaction. It might be a little exaggerated, but they literally said they could never come back on this show ever again after saying one word. So let's check that out.
To say to you, girl, we couldn't get much higher.
Yeah. She said it. She said it on national TV. I can't believe that.
We lost him too.
What's he doing? What's that? What's that? Oh, Jesus, get off! Get off it! You can see his face! Yo, you blew it, you little shit! You'll never play Sullivan again! Watch him!
So see, like I said, they were a lot stricter back then because they simply didn't want people to be exposed to anything that could be deemed as bad. They wanted to keep everything pretty moral and clean cut, which I don't blame them. There's nothing wrong with that. And seeing how things are now, they probably had the right idea. I know this video is kind of all over the place, but now we're going to get into everybody's favorite topic, politics. Woohoo, everybody loves politics. But eventually all of the, little steps that they kept taking to push the boundaries further and further and further, eventually led to, gay marriage coming up in politics. And for the vast majority of even the most liberal or progressive people's careers, they were strictly man and women being married. That's it. No gay marriage, anything like that. But we'll take a look at how some of that changed over the years. So the first clip we're going to check out is of Hillary Clinton. An interviewer asked her, why did she switch? Was it for political motivations? Why did she switch her viewpoint of gay marriage?
So that's one for you changed your mind. So
I have to say, I think you are being very persistent, but you are playing with my words and playing with what is such an
I'm just trying to clarify so I can understand.
No, I don't think you are trying to clarify. I think you're trying to say that, I used to be opposed and now I'm in favor and I did it for political reasons, and that's just flat wrong.
And as you see in this clip, she seems to get very irritated by that question. Maybe being accused of being a flip-flopper in order to gain more votes. So the next couple clips we got are from Barack Obama, where you can see his transition from marriage being strictly between a man and a woman to that, gays and everybody else should be able to get married as well. Either you could say it's for political reasons, but honestly, deep down, I believe it's due to there being an agenda, because all of these politicians kind of started this stuff around the same time. So let's see.
I believe that marriage is between a man and a woman.
Define marriage.
I believe that marriage is the union between a man and a woman.
Would you support a constitutional amendment with that definition?
No, I would not. I am not somebody who promotes same-sex marriage. I do not support gay marriage, but I support a very strong version of civil unions. The civil unions that I proposed would be equivalent in terms of making sure that all the rights that are conferred by the state are equal for same-sex couples as well as for heterosexual couples. Now, with respect to marriage, it's my belief that it's up to the individual denominations to make a decision. I believe that gay couples deserve the same legal rights as every other couple in this country.
All right, so there you see his transformation from being strictly against gay marriage to being for it in a matter of a couple years. The same period that Hillary Clinton made the same switch, if you will. So if you go back to the I Love Lucy clip where it shows, them in separate beds, they didn't even want to show a married couple laying together in the same bed. And fast forward to some of today's television from Netflix, where this is from a kid's show and what they're trying to push on kids.
Well, my heart says that the way I feel most myself is to go by the name Fred. That's because I'm non-binary, and Fred is the name that fits me best. And I also use they and them, because calling me a she or a he doesn't feel right to me. Oh, I didn't know that.
Now you could say, oh, it's not a big deal, blah, 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 but it really is. Why are they pushing this stuff on children? Just like the drag queen story hour or whatever. Why is this needed? Why is it allowed? It should never be. They're perversing these kids' minds by telling them this stuff. And they're influencing them to be a certain way when they reach adulthood. It 100% has an effect on people. I don't care what you say. I will not believe otherwise. It's part of the agenda, the gay agenda, which obviously it's a lot more than just gay. It's trans, drag queen, all this other degenerate, and in my mind, just I don't even know how to describe it. It's just crazy to me. All right, look, that's only a small, very, very small portion of all the degenerate kind of things that are on television now and over the years. There's a ton more out there. If I tried to include everything, this video would be eternally long. You'd never get through it. But I hope you see, by this video, you can see a little bit of how over time they slowly just pushed things further and further and further and further and became more and more degenerate. It's basically an attack on the family unit, and it's an attack on morality in our nation and in our children, and it shouldn't be allowed, and we can't stand for it anymore. But enough with that. We're going to end with a little funny gay joke made by Norm Macdonald, and he's a very intelligent man. May he rest in peace, and I always like his outlook on things. And one more thing is, I don't hate anyone that wants to be gay. They want to be trans. They want to be a drag queen. You can do whatever you want. We live in a free country, but when it comes to this stuff being pushed on people in so many ways, there's such a small percentage of the population, but it's such an overwhelming, it's an overwhelming thing in our media and in schools and things like that. And it shouldn't just be that. It shouldn't be that way. Sorry for rambling on. But this stuff matters to me. It's important to me. And I wouldn't want my daughter to grow up listening to this stuff. But let's check out Norm's clip.
I went to this gay pride parade, and I saw in it there were these old men and old ladies with these signs that said, "We are proud of our gay son." And so I was saying, that's an odd thing to be proud of, because it's not an achievement, it's not like something you work all your life to be gay or anything like that. And I just wondered, I had a hard time believing that these 50, 60-year-old men are actually bragging, at work, like they're, "Hey, Bill, my kid, oh my God, we're proud of him, Johnny. He graduated from Harvard, a first in his class, you know what I mean? Now he's articling over at a law firm, and, oh yeah, he loves cock." This kid, he can't get enough cock in his mouth, his ass, this kid's always cock. I got a picture of the boy here sucking another man's cock. I want to show it to you.
It's always good to end on a light note. But anyway, never forget that the powers that be, they hate you, they're going to manipulate you, and the best way to not let them is to stay informed and learn the truth about things.